Hey there, survivors! Welcome to the State of Decay 2 stream. I'm your host, Jeffrey Card, and over here we've got Nellie Hughes.
Hi!
That's Nellie Hughes. She's a design manager. And we're going to find out more about what a design manager is in just a minute, but first we should also point out that Brant Fitzgerald is going to be our driver today. So, Brant, what are we doing? Looks like you've got, who's this guy?
I don't know.
His name is Jonathan.
Obviously somebody who's about to croak.
So we've gotten out of Heartland. We're playing in Nightmare mode, and it's been a while since we've actually been playing core State of Decay, right? So we kind of got to get our feet back under us to figure out what we were doing.
Yes. I'm going to go get some gasoline because
Is that what? Oh yeah, we were completely out.
we are out, and because I make good choices, I'm going to drive there. Oh, maybe not.
Ooh, that truck is not in good shape.
Yikes.
All right, I'm still going to use it because it's drivable.
Kind of looks like my last car.
Oh yeah, no, when I first moved up here, I had this little tiny 80s hatchback
man.
that was in pretty bad shape, but I had bought it from my grandparents, and my I think someone in my family found out that you could get truck beepers for any car. You know, like when a truck is backing out and it goes,
Oh yeah.
you can technically buy that for any car. And so, like, somebody bought it for every member of my family. So my grandparents' little tiny Mercury Tracer.
That's amazing.
Had a truck backup beep. And so I would be like, you know, in my little tiny, like, compact parking space, and I would put it in reverse and be like, beep, beep, beep. And everyone looking around for a garbage truck. So, yeah. We've all, tell stories of your worst cars, everyone. Or don't, whatever. You can do what you want. So, hey, Nellie.
Hey, yeah.
So you're a design manager.
I am.
What is that?
It's basically a person who, I put it so eloquently.
Where's your phone?
My phone's right here. Can I read it off my
Absolutely,
phone?
absolutely.
Okay. I am a people manager that focuses on personal and professional growth while making sure that my people are happy and productive.
So who are your people?
My people are game designers. I used to be a game designer. I was a game designer for about 13 years.
Holy cow.
So, you know, I got tired of solving technical and game problems, and I really wanted to start solving people problems. So I moved into people management.
And no one has more people problems than game designers.
Yes, that is absolutely true.
It's like you went where the concentration was thickest.
Yes, I was just like, what other problems can I? Oh, people problems. So I moved into design management.
So how is managing people different from managing a project?
You know, people are just really complex beings, and so, you know, you do actually kind of, I still solve, you know, design project problems, but through people itself. And so, you know, it's just kind of, you deal with more emotional and, I would say it's usually more emotional stuff.
People are just these giant bags of hormones and brain chemicals. And
I mean, yeah, you know, and just, you know, I think that getting the best, making sure that people are happy and productive means that you get the best product, right?
Right, yeah.
And you want to make sure that your product's awesome so people play it.
So it's kind of like you've got this sort of like, this indirect, you know, contribution that you're making to the game. Kind of like, I often think about, you know, like if you're, say, an actor in a theater performance, you are directly creating this experience for people. When you're a game designer, you're creating a machine that creates experience for somebody while you're away. And you're another step removed where you're making the people that make the machine, that make the entertainment.
Yes.
Yes, for
I'm
the
third
audience.
removed from that.
But each step you take up, I think, actually kind of like adds to the complexity of the problem.
It does, and it's, you know, it's kind of a newer role in the industry. So, you know, it's been very interesting. I love it. I've been doing it for a couple of years now, and I really enjoy it.
Mr. Dart wants to know, do you utilize performance coaching to help the team?
Yes.
I'm not sure what that means. Can you tell me what
that means? Just, you know, like setting metrics and goal setting, and you know, a lot of goal setting and making sure that you're, you know, setting metrics and holding people accountable.
Oh, gotcha. So people actually can tell when they're making progress.
Yes.
It's not just this nebulous, you feel better this month than last month. It's like
Exactly.
making it real.
OKRs, stuff like that.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, cool. So those are what objectives and key results.
Yes,
That's what OKRs are.
yes.
I've got my corporate speak down.
Yes.
So it's kind of like we do community management in this game, where you're trying to make sure that everybody's experience is going up, that their morale is high, and you're just basically doing that in the real world.
Yes.
Like we're kind of trying to simulate your job in this game.
Yes.
Kind of not very accurately, probably. So things like morale. In our game, to improve morale, you listen to what people want and you give them what they want, and you build stuff for them. Is it the same set of rules in reality?
It's
or
a little
what's
different,
it more about?
right? Like a lot of my job is making sure that my designers are doing what they want. So, making sure that I'm listening to their interests, making sure they're working on features and projects that they want to be working on. If they're not working towards a solution to make sure that there is a goal that we're working towards to get there, stuff like that.
It must be tough too, because on a typical team, there's like a very specific set of jobs that are available for someone to do.
Yeah.
And then you've got a specific set of people, and it's not always a perfect one-to-one match.
It
right?
isn't. But it's always towards kind of like creating a light at the end of the tunnel if it isn't a one-to-one, and making sure that happens.
Yeah, because I don't think there's really such a thing as a perfect dream job out there, right? It's
No,
this
absolutely not.
I love being a game designer. There's parts of my job I don't like very much.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's an analogy that I had a boss use with me once that was about turning signs. And turning signs is never fun, but you always have, like that's just part of the job. And so, sometimes you have to turn signs.
I'm not actually sure what you mean by turn signs.
Just kind of it sucks. Like turning signs sucks.
Right? Being the person,
Yes.
You're not building the road, you're just kind of standing there doing the boring job.
Yes.
Gotcha,
Sorry,
okay.
that wasn't
The person
very
with the
clear.
slow sign by the side.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
I love being a game designer all the time. Because I'm not really.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you a game
Though I
designer?
wrote the original design document for this game.
Oh, he did. Yeah, no, I think
It was a terrible design document.
I write excellent design documents. Not all of them result in excellent games, but the document is great. It's a beautiful experience to read it.
Good documentation, Jeffrey.
So Steph 2188 wants to know: do you have team days out to help improve team communication or bonding or etc.?
Ooh, morale events.
Yeah, tell us about morale events. Is that a thing?
They will be very soon.
I don't even mean, is it a thing for us? Is it a thing, is it a thing that
Yes.
works generally?
Yes, morale events are awesome. Morale events, so, to give a little context, I just started here. So, I haven't gotten a chance to get my hands dirty with you guys yet. But morale events are, do you want examples of morale events?
Sure, yeah, I'd love to hear, yeah, what
Movies,
works?
bowling, eating out together, pizza nights, rock band,
Oh, yeah.
nights.
I miss the rock band morale events.
Yes,
Those were great.
getting together after work, either at the office or somebody's house and playing video games is one of those things that gets teams together.
I did have this. There was one team that I was on a long time ago. It was not here, where we had all been crunching really, really hard for a couple of months, a few months, and we had an all hands meeting, and the head of the studio was like, "Hey guys, you've been doing great, so I'm going to take you all out bowling right now." And the problem was, everybody was like, "That doesn't change our workload or our deadline at all."
Yeah.
And so for me, I was like, "Oh, that's great. I'm going to go home and see my family," and I skipped it. How do you sort of balance not everyone is going to be in the right mood for a particular event at a particular time? How do you balance all that out? Is it mostly just
It's hard.
not crunching in the first place?
I mean, there is always, it's hard, right? Crunch happens. There is a smart way to do it, and there is a not so smart way to do it, right? I prefer the smart way, but there is also a time and a place to do those morale events, right?
Yeah.
And I am a big fan of doing them during core work hours because I feel that personal time is important to employees, and we need to respect that personal family time. So,
And it seems like you need to sort of build into it the idea that we're not taking, you had 5 days of work to do in 5 days, and now you have 4 days to do it because of the morale event. The planning of everything else has to make room for it, right?
Exactly. That's definitely very important. It shouldn't be a punishment, right? You
Yeah.
shouldn't be, you shouldn't be punished for
see, what do
going
we
out
have
for
here?
3 hours and then, have to make up that time. Like, it should be built into the schedule, and, yeah, you should be able to enjoy that event without, being punished.
You started talking about the difference between smart crunch and dumb crunch. Like,
Oh,
what?
gosh.
Like, it's a complicated subject.
It is a
I don't want to
complicated
like pin
subject.
you down and like make you. I'm already making you talk about uncomfortable topics, and so feel free to just tell me to just go away anytime you want. But like, are there any like pointers about like how to? Because for instance, like sometimes I'm just in the mood to do a bunch of extra work.
Absolutely, and that's
And-
good. We like that.
Yeah, exactly. and so like and so sometimes like one thing I kind of like here, like there's a lot of different sides to err on. But one thing I kind of like is when people here are overworking themselves. Like I think Erin just was giving me crap the other day because she just today she noticed that I had sent an email at like 12:30 at night last night, and she was like, "What were you doing working at 12:30 at night?" I'm like, "Why were you checking your email at the same
Yeah,
time? What's
yeah.
wrong with you?"
I am totally guilty of like the 5 a.m. or midnight email myself. So, I think it comes down to if you do crunch, you control it. You set up a time frame that you're going to do it. Like, okay, oops, I'm gonna put my phone away so it doesn't fart anymore.
So it's not just this unbounded, everyone work maximally and feel guilty for every moment you're not working.
Yeah, nobody likes a death march, right? Like nobody wants to have a never-ending time frame. Like if you plan it correctly, do it for a reasonable amount of time, and then kind of, give people a break, and then do it again if you have to.
Yeah. A Margavita, by the way, points out that outpost doors should never be unlocked, and I agree. I think that was something we talked about early on. That's just like it's one of those like minor annoyances where I think it's just two parts of the game that don't know how to talk to each other. The door has no idea that it's on a building that's owned by an outpost or an enclave, and so it would be a lot of work to fix it. And it's a small thing, so it's just really easy to leave it unfixed for a super long amount of time. But yeah, nobody here thinks it's a good idea to lock your outpost doors and make you pick your own lock or slam open your own doors.
So while she's here, I have to say, one of the examples of the ways that we support our closest friends and streamer partners is wearing their merch. And today,
Oh, you just noticed that Fallout Girl is in the chat?
she's in chat. I am wearing the Fallout Girl official merch that also has State of Decay on it.
And actually, while we're taking a break, I should point out, get that thing pointed at you. There you go. I should point out that we've got a couple of things going on right now. Well, actually, mostly just one. Let me get into the place where I put it. We're giving away pins. You see that? That's a Bronto Gas pin. There's going to be 5 of these given away towards the end of the stream. So if you haven't done it yet, you should type that into the chat. ! Enter. If you do that, the bot will tell you that you've been entered in the giveaway, and we're going to give away a bunch of the stuff at the end. So around I think about 2:45, we're gonna sort of close it down and start picking the winners. And that's about the time when Community Spotlight starts. So anytime between now and then, enter, and you can get a pin.
Those are my favorite pins, by the way.
Yeah, we got them right here. That's about how big they are. Because, that image that I have, I think this is, where did I put it? It's right here. This is Alan, our artist who does a lot of like our marketing stuff, showing off how dirty his desk is. And
It doesn't look dirty.
all of our desks. So we recently moved desks, and one of the most horrifying things you learn when you're moving desks, and you like pick up your keyboard,
How
you pick up
dusty
everything.
it is, yeah.
Just how much of your
yeah.
flesh you are shedding every single day all over your gross table. I feel like the monster from Stranger Things season 3. Have you watched it yet?
No, don't.
I just
no
started.
spoilers.
La, 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 la.
Anyway, I won't say anything more about that, but that's how it feels.
I just finished season 2 last night, by the way.
I've moved desks so many times, and I've worked here for so long that I just box up all the crap that I end up collecting on my desk, and now I have like 6 boxes that have to fit under my desk.
That's how my house works.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I should switch back so you can see Brant. Yeah, my house. Basically, every time somebody is coming over, we take all the clutter and we put it in a box and put it in our room.
That's my office.
Yeah, and we just so over time we've gotten more and more boxes
Yeah.
of stuff we haven't looked at in months.
Well, and then my husband will go and he'll just start throwing boxes away.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not important if we didn't
If we
unpack
didn't
the
open it.
box.
There
Yeah.
is inevitably something you cannot live without.
One of my favorite things to do is try to condense, like take stuff that's in 3 boxes and put them all into 1 box, perfectly packed. And then my wife cannot find a single thing that she was trying to find before.
Yeah,
So
it's a trick. It's a trick.
You're going down. Boom.
Get him.
Amargavita wants to know, would creating a procedurally generated map be difficult? Creating a good procedurally generated map is what would be difficult. I mean, because there's a lot of tools out there for just making stuff happen procedurally, and the question is, will it feel like a real place? And there's so much of yeah. So I'm actually curious, what kind of game design did you do before you became a manager? Like, were you into level design or mission design? Or
I did a lot
systems?
of open world content design.
So is that like missions in a like a
Yeah, so I was
an
in
MMO?
I was in the MMO space, and I did a lot of open world design. So that was a lot of open world events, a lot of open world missions. I did some instance stuff, but mostly it was open world design.
So in your experience, you've contended a lot with sort of needing to work with the shape of a map and how making something feel like it belongs in a real space.
Yep. So it's funny, we talk about procedural, and for Star Trek Online, one of the games I worked on, we tried to, originally it was supposed to be all procedurally made, and yeah, that didn't work.
It just wasn't as good, right?
It just wasn't as good. So I ended up making like a bazillion planet maps that you would go down on eventually, because it just wasn't, wasn't there.
Yeah, so I think when we think about using procedural generation, particularly for maps, the stuff that we're more interested in exploring these days is procedural tools that let artists craft maps intentionally much faster.
Yes.
Like if you can just take a paintbrush and paint a bunch of trees in an area and they all show up in a varied, interesting configuration.
Yeah, and then you go in and you like polish it.
Tweak the ones that you want to
good.
tweak and stuff.
That's what you do.
I've heard that like Spider-Man PS4 was largely built procedurally. That New York City was built by a team that was way smaller than you would think it would take to build a New York City of that scale.
And then you tweak it and you make it look good.
Yeah, and so that's totally possible. If we lean in that direction, that's probably the direction we'll go. There's a lot of games that have procedural maps, things like Spelunky and XCOM 2, where it's not like the game is deciding how to place each individual tile. It's got these huge chunks that are specially designed to interact with each other in the right ways.
Tiles, right?
Yeah, so that they can do enough procedural to vary it and make it surprising, but not so much that the artists and the designers don't have any control over how it works. And so similarly, like our character generation system, it's very, very random, but there's also a lot of rules under the surface to keep traits from conflicting with each other and stuff like that. Like if we've got a trait that suggests you've got one kind of background, it will exclude the traits that would tell you that you've got the opposite kind of background. Like for instance, there's an active and inactive tag on traits. So somebody says like, I ran marathons, they get the active tag, and that eliminates all the I'm a lazy person who never gets out of their bed traits. So you can't have two things that just say, I am two people at once, because whereas, there are individuals who are very internally contradictory. You have to tell a story about a person like that to make them seem compelling, right?
Yes.
And if you know you're getting a random character and it seems like their traits just disagree, then you're like, oh, this is a bad character, dumb computer,
Yeah, that's when I start the game over.
Yeah. Exactly. Let's see here.
Yeah, Monkey Safari, and to continue on that, they suggested we use Google Earth to generate everything. Generating the stuff isn't the problem. Making it actually work, make it fun, and make sense.
Because Google Earth, for instance, the actual scale of the real world, like driving from one town to another, is just lots of empty space a lot of the time, or just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of very similar houses filling a tract, neighborhood. Replicating that in a game would actually not be very fun. Like, you want your game to be very dense, things are close together, the right things are close together to make an interesting and varied experience.
The rule sets alone would, you'd have to hire a lot of people who are basically creating rule sets.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of tech art.
Exactly.
And Dunedin,
says, how much do you investigate how other studios do similar things in Unreal?
We play their game.
We play their games. We also, as we were, we're about 4 times as large now as we were when the original State of Decay shipped. And we've hired a lot of people over time who have had experience at other studios building different things. And like each of them comes with a different background. And so we end up, when we assemble our team, we're pulling people from a lot of different places who've done a lot of different things, and they can bring that expertise with them. In addition to coming up with new solutions right here, that are very specific to State of Decay.
I've made so many mistakes over the years that I can at least bring that knowledge with me.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, what other questions?
Let's see. Well, actually, so I had some other notes of questions that I wanted to ask you.
Oh.
So how did you end up becoming a design manager? Making the transition from I'm building stuff to I'm building folks.
How do I answer this eloquently?
You don't have to. This is the State of Decay 2 stream.
We are so far from eloquent.
Well, I got really bored of just writing stories about fantasy and dragons. And so I just, I wanted something new, and I had this opportunity in front of me, and I saw people problems as just a whole new challenge and hill to climb, and so I just figured I'd go for it.
Did you feel like you knew up front that this was going to be something you were really into, or was it kind of like, were you more trepidatious about it, I don't know?
No, I knew, I've always been a really good communicator, and people have always really warmed up to me, and so it's one of those things where I figured I would be pretty good at it, and so I gave it a shot.
And so, because design skills are really different from managing skills. It's
Absolutely.
And so every discipline tends to have its own managers within it who come from its own ranks, but finding the design, on a team of 10 designers, finding the one who's actually going to be any good at management is actually really hard. I've done design management before, and I was terrible at it, and I never want to do it again because I'm not very empathetic. I empathize with fictional video game characters much better than with real human beings. So the fact that you could see your own potential in there sounds really exciting. To me,
it's one of those things where I think I'm a better manager than a game designer probably at this point. I think I'm a great game designer because I've been doing it for a very long time, but I think I fit better in the management role these days than I would as a game designer.
And it's interesting because historically I think there's been a problem in parts of industries like ours where you need someone to manage a bunch of, say, programmers or a bunch of designers or a bunch of artists, and so you choose
the best person. And then they hate it.
Yeah, they suck at being a manager, and now you're missing they used to be the
talent on
best
their
artist on the
team.
team, and now they're not doing any art. And stuff. So finding the people who are no, this is actually it's helpful that you totally 100% understand the job of being a game designer because you've done it before for so many years, and you know exactly the problems that people are solving. But then you're also good at management, and you can actually do that job and then leave. People like me who don't want to do that to be doing game design.
And I'll fully admit I'm not the best game designer out there, right? So
I don't think any of us here thinks that we're the absolute best. I think it's not who cares who the absolute best is. If you're in the good range, you're good. And having a good studio and good collaboration and good institutions here makes up for the difference in sheer genius. I think people credit way too much to individual geniuses.
Anybody who thinks they're the best game designer is wrong.
Just by definition,
you're
right?
Absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
You're gonna stop learning at that point when you think you're the best. And this industry changes way too fast for anyone to stop learning.
I
and remain good.
I agree, and that's a big part of my job is continuous learning, right? Pushing that, voluntolding you and the other designers to continue learning.
So what new skills did you have to specific if somebody right now wants to become a manager in whatever job they've got, what are the things you realized you had to suddenly be good at to operate in this new field?
Ooh, didn't need to do that.
Learn how to shut your mouth. That was a big one, right?
This is why I will never be a good manager.
No, but it's one of those things where you need to learn how.
I love that we both knew that was exactly the right reaction. That was great.
Anyway, to it.
People confide in you all the time, and you need to learn when to be transparent and when not. And I think that was my biggest learning hurdle was learning that.
Because I think by default when you're going to be people are going to tell you their secrets.
Mm-hmm.
They're their secret ambitions, their frustrations they don't want to tell anyone else, their fears. and you have to that obviously you need to have a lot of discretion, and also you're going to know things. As a manager, you're going to be in circles where people are discussing future plans that are tentative. They aren't ready to announce to the company yet, or they aren't ready to announce to the audience yet.
Yep.
And you end up knowing all of these things you can't share. And I know a lot of people just automatically they err on the side of I will not tell anyone anything ever.
Yep.
Because that feels safe, right?
Yep.
And then carefully deciding what you actually do want to tell, it's like a scary
It was
decision.
a harsh learning curve that I failed at for a little bit and then got better at. So,
Like, I've been in a position where, like, I had to know about a layoff a day before everyone else, and I couldn't tell everyone that they were about to lose their jobs.
It's stuff like that is like heavy stuff that weighs on your soul, and not being able to tell anybody is definitely really difficult.
I think probably one of the more difficult things I ever did when I was in kind of a management role was having to decide when it was time to fire someone, right? Because like
That was the most difficult thing I think I've ever done in my entire life.
luckily it wasn't like the decision wasn't up to me, but I was the person who knew the situation the best and had to give a recommendation, and I had to recommend that we fire someone that I liked.
Did you have to do it?
I don't think I didn't have to have the actual face-to-face
Okay,
conversation.
yeah.
My studio head took that,
Yeah.
but it's like it's not like it was a secret that I was involved in the decision.
Yeah, it's
you know?
tough. It weighs on your soul, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean-
luckily that guy did land somewhere else, and he kept
Yeah,
having a career.
absolutely.
He just wasn't going to work with the team that we had. in the role
Yeah,
that we had
no,
him
and
in.
that's what it comes down to. It's not about the person being bad. It's just possibly a bad
Sometimes
fit.
it is.
Yeah.
Well, okay, you
Occasionally.
said it.
I mean,
Yeah.
those are the easy ones, though, right?
Yeah,
If somebody's screwing up fast and gaining speed, then and they won't take. You give them a chance, you give them the direction, and they think. Often it's because people think they know better than everyone else.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you talk to them and they won't adjust, then it's easy to make that decision.
We had one event that I didn't know very much about at a former studio that we collectively called when it became a legend, we called it Naked Coder Rampage.
Whoa.
So you can imagine what that might have been.
Yeah.
So that guy got fired pretty fast without a lot of deliberation. But yeah, when it's something more just like we've asked you to do a particular job and you're not good enough at the job for us to ship the game. That's just harder because nobody wants to say,
yeah.
that I'm trying and I'm just not making.
Those
it
are
happen,
really.
Yeah. So yeah, that was another tough one. Was disciplinary actions against people that because you begin to have a relationship with all of your reports, and I care deeply about all my reports, and so having to have difficult conversations about people that you care about is really tough, and because I want everybody to succeed, and
it might even be tougher. I imagine it might even be tougher, when you're trying to rehabilitate someone than when you're trying to because if you fire them, you feel miserable, but at least they're gone.
Yeah.
But when you're actually trying to help someone, it can be a long struggle, a long slog to get
it's
them
a lot
from
of work,
point A to point B.
Yeah, it's you guys are both guys or gals, whoever, both of you folks are in it for the long haul, and so you both are emotionally invested.
Yeah, but times when I've been struggling, I've always been really grateful when managers
boy.
got in there in the trenches with me, and I could really feel like they were on my side.
Well, that's a good manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I had one time who he said, hey, you're gonna have a really bad it looks like you're gonna have a pretty bad review, but we've got a long weekend, so why don't you just enjoy this long weekend of knowing you're going to have a bad review, and we'll have your review on Tuesday.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I was just beside it was out of the blue. I didn't know
I don't know how I feel
it was going to
about
happen.
that. I don't know how I feel about that.
And then it was a long time ago. It was during the early phase of my career when basically I was surviving by having someone else screw up worse than me every year.
Yeah.
And so
that's a definitely interesting approach. Interesting approach.
it was there's someone who sort of gleefully, sadistically enjoed the pain of their underlings. And you don't seem like that kind of manager.
No, I don't do that.
So let me see. We have accumulated some questions. So Bilbo wants to know, what would you suggest for someone who wants to be better at communicating and managing people?
Oh man, I mean, there's a ton of books out there. There's books like Crucial Conversations. There's books like Radical Candor. Don't worry, I bought us 5 copies.
Oh, you
so
did buy 5
can
copies.
read them.
I want to. The title "Radical Candor" actually makes me want to read that.
It's really good.
I like when just the word "radical." I mean, partly it makes me think of somebody on a surfboard in the '90s, but it also
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
yeah, exactly. You radical, but it also it just sounds like, you're doing it completely wrong and you should have fundamentally changed the way you're doing things.
No,
I like reading things like that.
Yeah,
'cause,
it's true, But, there's a lot of other books like that you can kind of read in order to kind of work on your communication. And what was the other part of the question?
Management.
That didn't help me at all.
Oh, I know. So he said, what would you suggest for someone who wants to be better at communicating and managing people?
Just work on your empathy, right? Just empathy is such a huge part of it, and realize that get on the same level as the people that you're managing with. Realize that people have bad days, just like you, and just don't get on a high horse. That's really a big part of it.
Well, what Bilbo has taken out of your advice is, I want to be the type of manager that looks like Bowser on a surfboard with shades on, holding a guitar. I think that's what every manager sort of wants people to see them as.
Oh my gosh, that's my new goal. Undead Lab goals.
That's not just management goals. That's life goals.
Yeah, that is life goals. That is life goals.
So for those of you who haven't seen it yet, we are giving away the State of Decay 2 pins. So if you have not typed !enter into the chat yet, you
must.
should do so. They glow in the dark. Everything that glows in the dark is good. So, what is going on, Brant? I've been completely ignoring the gameplay.
I'm just kicking butt as usual.
Did you blow up an entire horde with one, was that a pipe bomb or a...
Some of them got up.
Some of them are kind of still crawling around a little bit.
Yeah, I just didn't want to deal with a bunch of healthy, quote unquote, healthy zombies. So.
Oh, you need a gas can.
I need lots of things.
Did you ever end up finding the fuel you were looking for?
I got some fuel and I made a fuel outpost. I'm sure that anybody who's good at playing Nightmare is shaking their head at my non-optimal gameplay.
I can't not fast search. Like, I have to fast search.
I know.
everything.
Oh my gosh, yes.
If you like your characters in Nightmare, do not fast search.
I just can't help it. I have to fast search.
And I am definitely a non-optimal player. Like the idea of playing optimally actually sounds boring to me.
Yeah,
I feel like I want to sort of play loose, play fast and loose, deal with consequences, make mistakes. And I can get, if I get too deep in a hole, I can get frustrated. But just whenever I'm playing and I got folks in my, streaming, and I got folks in my chat who are saying, no, the exact right way to play is like this. It's like, I don't want to know the exact right way.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it right. I want to,
Be excited.
I want to get on my surfboard with my Bowser outfit and just have a good time, right?
I know I will never be able to play say, Mr. Dart when he's doing a speed run on Nightmare.
Yeah. Oh, it's ridiculous. Oh, Mr. Dart says that Nellie is a wannabe speedrunner. That you should join him in the speedrunning dark side.
I could, and then I would die within 5 seconds.
So your game would be shorter than anyone else's.
I know.
It'd be great.
Would be.
I think you have to survive though.
Yes. Yes, that's not.
So SXO wants to know.
What?
$2.99? You are right there. Go kill something.
That is BS.
So SXO wants to know what's going to be going on for the next couple of weeks because I'm going on vacation for the next couple of weeks.
Boo.
That's okay. I'm going to the Outer Banks of North Carolina, which is where I used to vacation a lot when I was a kid. So it's going to be fun.
It's really nice there.
Oh yeah, it's good. The beaches there are really cool because they're really shallow, and so you end up with really like the slope on the beach isn't that deep. So it's like you can go really far out before the waves get too deep, and the water warms up. You get was it whatever the current is that makes the Atlantic warm. We got that thing.
Yeah.
The thing that makes the Atlantic warm and makes France a temperate country, even though it's the same latitude as British Columbia.
I am going to New York next week, so your trip is more exciting than mine.
I haven't taken my family to New York yet, and so they haven't.
I'm going to upstate New York. So
not Broadway.
Not Broadway.
Oh, okay,
not the fun New York. The sticks New York.
Well, still, I'm actually kind of impressed that New York manages to have one of the biggest cities in the world and also a lot of wilderness at the same time.
Oh yeah.
You'd expect it to be the cyberpunk sprawl by now.
I know. You would expect that. No.
Why does New Hampshire still have forests? It's been settled for so long. It just should be all city by now. So anyway, I feel like I just jumped like 3 topics in a row. Oh, but okay, so what's happening for the next couple of weeks is Jeff Sult, who a lot of you guys have met. He's going to be hosting for the next couple of weeks. Next week, we're going to have Dan Mode on here. And, when Dan Mode shows up, that means the weapons are showing up. So
What?
I'm not going to say exactly what he's going to be sharing with you guys. But those of you who love weapons...
Definitely not weapons.
You should tune in to see what Dan Mode has to share with you next week.
Definitely not weapons.
So Fallout Girl says, never heard someone talk about latitude when describing a beach. Yeah, oh man, I was also talking about grades, and all I can think about is physics when I'm talking about the beach, because I remember, growing up going to the Atlantic coast and, and the Outer Banks. I went to Hawaii once, and their beaches there are like cliffs. It's like you're 10 feet under the water when you take a few steps. And so their waves, it's like the water pulls completely off the beach and then crashes down on dry sand. And which is the opposite of what goes. Like you have like big long tide pools with warm water that's baking in the sun all day, and you can just
You're not getting that in Hawaii.
You're not getting that, at least not the parts of Hawaii I went to. I don't know. I'm not an expert on Hawaii.
You know what Hawaii doesn't have?
Jeff Sult anymore. He can actually tell you guys all
Horseshoe
about
crabs.
Oh.
It's my first memory as a child, because my dad was stationed in New Jersey.
Oh.
And my first memory that I have in my existence
It's
is
getting freaked out
is
by
horseshoe crabs.
by these monsters.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah, when I was a little kid, finding a dead headless shark on the beach. That was pretty cool.
Headless shark, doo-doo.
Headless shark.
Did I get it?
Yeah, that was right.
Did I
That
do
was
it
good.
right?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah. Undead Mark says Jeff's sandcastles required permits. That actually was my main thing when I was a kid going to the beach. Like I would wait until the tide was just starting to go out and just reveal some wet sand, and then I would just build the biggest, most powerful sandcastle I possibly could while the tide went all the way out and then came all the way back in, and then at the end of the day would watch it take down my sandcastle. It was the best. Like I used to, my whole thing whenever I was building things as a kid, it was all about building something so that I could meticulously and carefully destroy it.
Ooh.
My son isn't like that. Like I would like stack 3 blocks on top of them for him, and he would just immediately knock it down. I'm like, no, you don't understand. Destruction is so much more interesting when you're build something really elaborate and then take it apart.
Then you take it apart.
Like kind of Jenga-ing out the pieces and seeing how it collapses. So
Yeah, my son was the same way. I tried to get him excited about building stuff, and he would just be like,
whack. Yeah.
like I was insulting him by actually having the goal to build blocks, put blocks on top of each other.
Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, Jeff Sult is going to be the new host for a couple of weeks while I'm out, and I'm actually going to try. I've realized that I've kind of I love streaming with you guys so much that I kind of insist on hosting it all the time, and I'm realizing that that's not actually good because it means that if I'm the one who knows how this entire setup works and I know where all the different presentations are and the buttons and all of just the everything, if I'm the only one who knows how that works, then if I'm sick one Tuesday, the entire stream collapses.
Yeah, that's definitely a risk that you take when you take over stuff like that.
I think there's lots of people here who would be great at streaming. It's just a particular setup, you have to get familiar with it. And so I'm going to start, I think after I get back.
I'm sitting
Brant.
right here.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
I'm sitting right here. And he
After
won't
I
even
get
look at
back, I'm going to try to have guest hosts a lot more often, so that you guys can get to know even more people at the studio, and so that I can take breaks now and then, and not necessarily have to be the host all the time. So yeah, Magic Man 79 says, "What's Brant? Chopped liver?"
Yes, I am.
Yeah,
I am
that's right.
chopped liver.
Yeah.
I've only been streaming for State of Decay since we started streaming, but
Yeah.
no, it's okay. It's all good.
Yeah.
Could you be the
No,
the
because
lone-
Jeffrey and everyone else knows that if it was left to me to run this stream, I wouldn't even be able to start it.
And that's the problem. One of the reasons why I wanted Jeff, because not only is he a personable guy who's fun to listen to talking, he's also got a lot of good technical skills. And so if something collapses and goes wrong, he's going to be able to fix it. So you guys should have great, reliable streams for the next couple of weeks until I get back on the 30th. So nice. This might be actually one of the longest vacations I've taken my entire career in the game industry.
2 weeks?
I think my honeymoon was shorter.
I had a week for my honeymoon.
You've been gone 2 weeks before.
I think, yeah. But I'm gone 2 weeks and a day this time, so I think I might have just nosed up.
That might be
Just
a
a little
day
bit.
too many.
Yeah, so I did take 2 weeks off about 3 years ago, and that's when we ended up with Puppet Jeff.
Yep.
And
And
Puppet Jeff?
have you not seen Puppet Jeff?
oh, go grab.
Oh my
Go
gosh.
grab Puppet Jeff.
Yeah, I was so distraught at Jeff not being here with us
You made a puppet?
that I had.
Bitter Mercy made it, but
Yep. I asked
Oh my gosh.
one of our fans,
So
and she's also in the game.
so I used to
You
have
know her actually.
I used to have this mane.
Oh.
Stein.
Yeah, Carol Stein. I used to have this really huge mane of long hair. In fact, they discovered when Brant was looking around for pictures of me, like old pictures of me, he was
Yeah.
looking through my Facebook page, and he found this picture of me like when my first kid was still like 2 years old, and everything. Like I used to have this massive like Mufasa hair, and so she made
Wow.
she made a puppet of me with the hair. So this is me from 2000, I don't know, 7 or something like that.
Wow, that's amazing.
But then after that was done, she also made Puppet Brant.
Wow, I need a puppet.
I know, seriously?
I know her. She's gonna make me a puppet.
Yeah,
These guys away again.
Man.
yeah. Puppet Brant was
Puppet
oddly.
Brant's pretty
It was
cool.
oddly specific.
Yeah, it was from, just like mine was from 2007 me, Puppet Brant was from one particular stream when Brant put on a coconut bra and a grass skirt and did a dance.
Because I lost a bet.
He lost a bet.
To Mom
Was
Prince.
it Mom Prince? Yeah, that's what I thought.
I never bet anybody else after. Mom Prince's bet ruined betting with fans for me.
You can never bet with another fan again.
No, because that's how I also got my first tattoo.
Really?
Yeah. We don't need to go into it.
So Mr. Dart recommends that if I set up an Elgato Stream Deck, I can actually make it easier for people to just sit down and understand how to run the stream.
How about this, Smarty Pants? Fly over here and help us out with the stream.
So I've never tried out that hardware. Joe Swarner says that we actually have one lying around somewhere that we just haven't tried yet. So maybe I'll give that a try sometime. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that wouldn't be too bad. I've just never tried it. So I don't know, well, check it out. Hey, we got about 4 minutes until Community Spotlight, and so let me just switch over to this view so that we can look. Oh, look at this!
Oh, it's a pin!
So in about 4 minutes, we're going to stop listening to you guys and you type !enter. So if you haven't done it yet and you want to have an awesome glow-in-the-dark pin, please do it. I think we're only counting like one entrance for each person, so there's no point in spamming it. If you've already typed it and Battissimo has already told you that you're entered, you don't need to do it again. But if you're new, you just came in, you want to enter, go ahead and enter. We're going to give away 5. So while we're doing Community Spotlight at 2:45, Megan's going to tabulate the winners, and we'll announce them after Community Spotlight's over. So Mr. Dart is like, "How's September for coming up here and showing us how to stream?" We'll have our people talk to your people.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
Oh, my.
So,
No, don't. No.
oh, what's going on?
Crap-tastic.
Oh, you're...
Oh.
Through the window!
No.
No!
Get in the. No.
Oh,
Get in
he's
the. No.
He's just jumping you every second.
Get in the.
Brant's playing like how
Get,
I play.
get in the car.
Do it! Don't let him get on you. Nice.
Oh, God, no.
Oh, he's coming for you. He's coming for you.
I know, and I'm
He's
gonna have to go
He's gonna get
forward.
on the door.
Oh, and the.
The Juggernaut. No.
Okay, I'm going home. Going home now. All right.
So
Sorry.
Fall Down Gaboom is trying to get Nellie in trouble
no.
by asking her the classic question we always avoid, which is, if you could make any change to the game right now, what would it be?
I would give myself, and only myself, an invincible code.
Dev control.
Dev controls, so I could get through the game without dying on
So
a regular basis within 5 seconds.
So what if we at some point added an easier difficulty zone?
I would love that, because I personally like my content spoon-fed to me.
So do you play Mass Effect on like story mode?
Yes, I play all of those games on the easiest mode that I can possibly get on, because One, I can't shoot anything for the life of me. My aiming is terrible, and I just like to play games to experience the story and the experience.
I always get kind of weirded out. Like sometimes developers will try to explain the differences between their difficulty levels from their own perspective. Like I
just
think
make it easy.
if you start Wolfenstein 2, for instance, I think it says, okay, this difficulty mode for if you've never played a shooter before, and this is for if you're good at shooters, and nothing in between. So I'm like, well, I'm good at shooters. I picked that one, and it was not fun.
Yeah.
Like I was just like getting shot all the time, and I was, and then I bumped it down to you don't play shooters, and it was great. It felt like, and I'm like, you know what? I play shooters. Dang it, you guys! Like. I got, played Doom on the normal difficulty level, got all the way through it. It was great, had an awesome time. Just because you guys out there making Wolfenstein think that games ought to be hard and frustrating doesn't mean you should insult me by telling me that my favorite difficulty level is easy mode. So, whatever. So, actually, one of my favorite games with difficulty modes was Celeste because it was so... Like, it really endorsed people playing the game at the level they wanted to play it at, and tried really, really hard not to make you feel like you had the developer's contempt.
It had a wonderful soundtrack, that game.
I had a great... If you haven't played Celeste, it's a side-scroller, jumpy side-scroller with a cute story about facing your inner demons. It's great. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I love that game. It's 2:45. It's time for Community Spotlight. Do you want to put on some headphones? Oh, yeah, get safe. We have headphones. So how does
this... I don't know this part.
I think, yes, here. These are from Brant.
I look cool.
You always look cool, but yeah, especially because you kind of got like patriotic colors going on with the red glasses and the blue headphones and the white shirt.
White. I have white on too.
Okay, so let's switch over to Community Spotlight mode. Okay, so first off, the title screen here. This is from Stratashawn on Discord. Let me see. What did he say about this? He just said, "Oh, hey guys, I found my car." So he's kind of, I don't know how he got the car in there. Probably involved repairing it and having it fly up into the air. But yeah, so starting there, let's start looking at some of the stuff that got submitted this week. So first, let's start with beats and buttons.
Beats.
So this is more just, this is less of a funny thing than a badass thing. He's just showing off the chaos that he can get up to with explosives. Though there's one moment here that we just get past that I want to point out in a second when we go around the loop again. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put our picture on the screen. So, my bad.
Do I put the microphone down?
It doesn't matter. So, nice shot, getting every single zombie in the door. But my favorite part of this, he runs away from this guy with the helmet on. And then... It looks like the guy just hit his head into the door frame
he
right
did.
there,
He
right?
smashed him with the door.
So anyway, so that's beats and buttons.
Way to go, Beats.
And yeah, I also did not get Brant's face on here. I did
I
did a really bad job of setting up Community Spotlight.
We're not
this
doing
time.
my face. That's enough. We punish our people enough.
All right, so SOD2 Danyo said, okay, this, speaking for these characters, Almonte, WTF, we agreed on blue jeans and leather jackets, and you don't even have a skull cap. I'm very disappointed. Steve's looking the other way. He can't even look at you. So apparently they've got kind of a dress code going on here, and they're encouraging us with this shot. Actually, later on in the tweet, they're like, we should add customization to this game so we can dress all our characters in identical stuff. Yeah, wouldn't that be cool if we ever did that someday? Anyway, Louis Brandy says that when he saw this, he was pretty sure that he heard a feral roar as he was going by.
That's cool.
So Brant, you actually said, I think you answered that tweet, and you're like, Sinclair was actually the inspiration for Bronto Gas.
It definitely was. I don't know if I answered that. I think I just said, don't go there.
But yeah, so Sinclair, that is a real gas station brand that really uses dinosaurs as their mascot. So yeah, so we're not being too crazy and inventive when we have Bronto Gas in our game. So then on Discord, Daisy Chainsaw 19.
Hold on, we've got prize winners.
Oh, we do? Oh, cool. Yeah, well we'll announce those in a sec.
All right.
So Daisy Chainsaw 19 on Discord shared this video with us. Now, to set the stage, when we have a bug in the game right now where when you're repairing a car, sometimes you'll finish repairing and the car will fly up into the air, right? That's we've kind of come to expect when we're watching funny videos about State of Decay and somebody repairs a car, the car is just about to go rocketing up into the sky. So so this is what happened. Daisy is sitting here playing with Ouchio. And so Ouchie is repairing. You know what's going to happen. Whoa, what? So let's see that again. So I was expecting the car to fly up, and then suddenly, and I love hearing the audio of the yeah.
We got the Doppler effect going.
Yeah, and it hits a wall so hard. Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
And then finally, last Psy Ninja. This is
Daisy.
kind of a similar thing. Let's have a look at this. Get off my car, sheesh.
Whoa.
The fact that it lands.
I love the sound it makes when it hits things.
Yeah, exactly. It's the fact that it lands on the roof and makes that thunk that makes it great. So thanks to everybody who contributed to Community Spotlight. If you want to have a video or an image that you come up with to show up on Community Spotlight, post it on Twitter with the Funny Survivor Stories hashtag. I actually remembered to put it on the screen this time, guys. I did it.
Abra, make sure you almost every video you post would qualify. So make sure you put this hashtag up.
So that's that. So it is 2:50. We still got another 10 minutes left. I should check and see if Megan has listed our. We have not listed our winners yet. You got to tell me who the winners are, Megan, so we can say it out loud because they kind of breezed by in the chat a minute ago. But let's go back to the game.
Oh crap!
Yeah.
Can I take these off?
Oh yes, please.
Okay.
Definitely. Because
I feel like a doofus.
my ears are so cold now from the breeze and the sweat.
Is that a donut?
Yes. Oh yeah. Would you like a donut?
No.
You sure?
What is a donut doing here?
They were buy one get one free at Top Hot today, and so I went to get a donut after lunch, and they're like, "Hey, have a second donut." I'm like, "No," and they're like, "You must." So
go for it.
I've got another donut now.
We could mail that out. That could be
this is our prize.
That could be a prize.
This is the grand prize.
I had a salad for lunch, so I obviously haven't actually eaten anything today.
Oh,
would you like a donut, Brant?
I would adore a donut.
This is your donut. Okay, so here's our winners. Here's the folks who are going to win pins like this. Sarkov is one of our winners. Regainer88 is one of our winners. Big Lou is one of our winners. Cody HD and Rafael Hernandez. So
congratulations!
Yes, congratulations everybody. Thank you for giving this a try. So we're going to keep doing giveaways like that. So if you missed it this time, please keep coming back to our stream. We'd love to get these out to everybody eventually. Back when we were doing the State of Decay 1 stream, oh, holy crap, you were in the middle of a nasty scene.
Yes, because because our sound is turned off here, basically, I didn't hear the screamer standing outside for like half an hour calling all of his buddies.
Pulling everybody in.
House party, apparently.
So Sarkoth and Big Lou are watching on YouTube, which makes it hard to whisper to them. So if you guys have not yet made contact with Megan and Wonder, send an email to social@undeadlabs.com. And if you're not Sarkoth and Big Lou, don't do that, because if you try to steal their stuff, you're a jerk. Let's see
Screamer
here.
number 2. Hello.
So Insidious says, I have a card Red Talon character. Did you make him, Jeffrey? So technically, if you have any character, I kind of made them because my job was designing the character system that generates the random characters. And I also, I entered most of the names. So the way we came up with our name lists was, the first thing I did was I asked everyone at the studio, are there names that you would like to put into the game? And everyone submitted stuff. Even when new folks like Nellie showed up, I asked her if she wanted to put any names in the game, and she did. And I won't tell you which ones they are. But yeah, so we had everybody submit names, and then I started going through and doing research on names from different cultural backgrounds. And so, you've got sort of like your sort of like Anglo names from England, and you've got names from Mexico, and you got names from all over different places in the world, from Japan and from Korea. And I made separate name lists for all of these groups, and then basically had each time we generate a character, it decides where that character's background is from, what cultural tradition their name came from, and then it puts a name together from a random list of all the first names they could have and a random list of the last names. And when I could get enough detailed information, we even divided it up by age group. So if you get a character whose name is George, chances are you look at their face and they're older because no one young is named George.
He's a builder. He's not a citizen yet.
So yeah, look at these guys.
No, stop using that button.
So like, and then we set it up so they would choose a nickname that's derived from their first name or the last name. Like Henry there, his name is actually Enrique, but he goes by Henry. And then Jay Reeves here. So anyway, so I made all those lists. And so, yeah, of course, I put my family's last name in there. So if you get a character, and we also set up rules like if you're a military character, you go by your last name instead of your first name. So if you've got a Red Talon character named Card, it's because they randomly got, they were choosing from the list of rare Anglo last names. They got Card, which was mine, and then it combined them with a different first name, and then it chose to use Card as their nickname because they were Red Talon, and Red Talon characters usually go by their last name. So that's how you ended up with Card. So yeah, that's probably way more information than you actually wanted when you were just making the connection that somebody had my last name.
I still think it's, one, it's great that you're enthusiastic about something you put in the game, right? Because it means that you really put a lot into it. And two, it's a really freaking cool system.
I do have a lot of fun just like generating characters and looking how the names come out.
Did we ever figure out why it renames Fallout Girl's character?
we just got another report of a similar bug. Somebody had a character named, I think either their name was Scott and it changed to Ryan, or their name was Ryan and it changed to Scott. And I don't know why. Like, very, very rarely a character's first name will just change, and we don't know what's happening. But it happened to Fallout Girl. Like, she had a character named Melise, and it changed to Melange. And she's like, Melise is a real name, and Melange is spice. So that's weird.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the name of the spice in Dune.
Is it Spice Girl?
There you go. She became a spice girl.
Melange spice?
I'm pretty sure it's also like the French word for cinnamon or something like that.
Don't look at me, man.
But yeah, so she ended up with a weird name, and that was strange.
All these turds lined up in a row.
I thought you were being serious. I was like, we put poop in the game?
These are the people who make my life difficult. There we go.
Get out.
They are gone now.
All right, so we got like 4 minutes left. So you guys have like any last-minute questions for Nellie or for me or Brant or whatever? Put them in because this is your last chance.
Oh, it's a navigation spice.
Oh yeah, it's the spice from Dune. I think is what they mean. Yeah, and then Shade Oblivion found Greg House when they were recruiting Red Talon guys. So they got I wonder if I put in the right name so that you can get Hugh Laurie as well. I don't know, but that's cool. Yeah, I love getting names that are familiar. But yeah, I think somebody posted on, it was either on Discord or on Twitter or somewhere. They rolled up a character named Richard Cox who went by Dick. I was like,
there's nothing funny about that, though.
My mission is complete. I felt like that was the apotheosis of the naming system right there. So I felt like my job has now been justified.
I don't get it.
We made it happen. We made it happen, everybody. High fives all around. We did it.
I still don't get it.
Whatever.
I'm still stung from our one run-in with the Phallus Forest.
Oh yeah.
We did it, Reddit.
Oh yeah, I think it might have been from Reddit actually. That's where that name came from. Thank you. Bobalicious? What a name. Bubbalicious asks, who came up with the community group names? That was a combination of me and Andy Collins. So I think I came up with a lot of the initial lists, and then he went through and he about doubled them in size, a lot of them, and added his own. We deliberately, especially for your community, we deliberately chose a bunch of vanilla names for the very first community that you go into, just so that you don't have weird things confusing you, because the name shows up in a couple random places, and you might not know what the name is supposed to mean. So we came up with some very simple, clear names for your first community, and then came up with a bunch of weirdo ones for your second, third, and fourth, or whatever communities. And they're all randomly selected, so sometimes you'll still get a normal one later on, but you have a small chance of getting some of our weirder names. So hope you enjoy those. And similarly, the NPC enclaves, all of them have these random name lists that anytime we want, we can just go in and just add more to the list and make it longer. Okay. Now and then I do that. Like, sometimes now and then I'll just be like, oh, I need to mess with something with this enclave. Oh, look, why don't I add 10 more names to the list? Why not? Because a lot of especially the character names, we don't localize them. So really just me adding names doesn't add any work to anybody else. I just get to mess with the game and it's fun. Anytime I'm just shopping at Best Buy and somebody has a cool name on their name tag, I'll ask them where their name came from. And then I'll go and I'll put it in the game, yeah. So it gets me into some weird conversations. Somebody's just like, "Why are you asking about my name and where it comes from?" Because I've got to get it on the right list.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, like, I want the characters to feel authentic, but that means I end up in weird conversations with people. I have to say, I make video games. I promise what I'm doing is really cool, and I'm not a creep asking you personal questions. Kai Hylos asked that, who made the asshole group names? That was me, and that community is actually, that enclave is called the Arseholes in the file names. So just want to make sure that we're clear about that. I do it in the classic British way, not in the crass American way.
My name's in there.
Oh yeah,
My name is in there.
Nellie's name is in the game, and question for Jeffrey: how much do you know about the existing fog we have in game, and will it be likely to increase the foggage at night in the game in the future? We'd love that. That's interesting because one of the ways that we simulate darkness at night is with fake fog. Like we actually have black fog in the game that helps, make the darkness fall off, the light fall off as things move away from you. And so, if anything, with the number of people who say, I never want to go out at night because it's just so dark, we actually have been talking about, maybe we should pull back the fog a little bit. So it's interesting that you're interested in pulling the fog in and making it more kind of scary and difficult to see. So we'll have to bear that in mind. I don't know if we can do it based on difficulty level or anything like that, so we can give people a variety of experiences. But yeah, that'd be cool.
Fog like that is also runtime heavy.
Oh, it's expensive. Yeah, that's true. So we'd have to be careful with it.
You're doing a whole bunch of draw calls. It's a full screen draw call, basically.
Anything transparent or translucent is extra difficult for game machines to render. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, so Nazumi fan, yeah, Trish, the name Trish is in the game as a nickname for Patricia. So there's seriously, we could go on all day about how many different, there's thousands of names.
So many names.
And I entered every single one of them. But it is 3:01, and so we are going to need to go. So
I need to drive back to base.
Perfect that you're driving back to base. While you're doing that, let's say goodbye to Nellie. Nellie, thank you so much for coming in.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
I feel like, even though, there were a few people who complained that we were talking about depressing subjects.
Sorry.
No,
Sorry.
that's not your fault. I was asking you the question. That completely came from me. You are such a upbeat and happy, nice person. I figured I could throw you really depressing curveballs and you turn them into enlightening conversation. So thank you so much. I feel like I learned a lot about your job and I work with you every day. So,
Well, thank you for having me.
And then Brant.
Hi.
Yeah, so Brant is trying to get home without dying, so he's going to look a little distracted. But
that's right.
Thank you for being along for the
This
ride
game
here.
doesn't come as easily to me as it does to all you guys out there.
And also, I should just say thank you to the audience. Thank you all for being here. You guys, the fact that you're still playing this game is exactly what makes it possible for us to still work on it. So we love you. Thank you so much for being here. And
keep telling your friends because we're doing better and better every day.
Yeah,
actually.
our audience is still growing. This is amazing, and that's why we keep getting to Heartland isn't the end. We're going to keep supporting this game, and you're going to hear more and more about that in the coming weeks. Keep tuning into this stream.
The next 2 weeks are going to be big. So for the stream, lots of. And
Lots
not
of
only
stuff.
because Jeffrey's gone.
Yeah, that's the main attraction is me
That's
being
not
gone.
nice.
But aside from that, so next week Dan Mode is coming. So be excited for that, and we'll see you later.
There's another.
Ta-da!
Yep, they can still hear us.
I know.
Sarkoth,
It's all good.
Sarkoth, come take over my game because there's too many screamers here.
Let's see. I see you.
Oh,